As soon as you feel bad for them, you've lost. As soon as you approve of their victim position, you've also lost. And as soon as you allow yourself to be in the victim position, you've also lost. Are you ready to take your power back from the narcissist, psychopath, or empathy lacker that you have given it to? And yes, I said given it to. You may have done it consciously, you may have done it unconsciously. It's usually mostly unconsciously. There are many ways that you may be giving your power away to these individuals, but in this video, I'm going to go into one of the biggest ways that you give your power away to narcissists, psychopaths, and run-of-the-mill empathy lackers, because they're around there, right? They're around. When I say giving your power away, what I am about to tell you, it's going to be difficult for some. Some will not make their way through this video. This big way that you may be giving your power away is by feeling bad. Feeling bad. I feel bad. Oh my God, I feel really bad that I didn't stick around in Best Buy earlier when that guy was pitching a sale to me. You know, even though I'm totally happy with my prepaid phone plan that works perfectly fine and is only $50 a month, I don't think you can beat it, and I don't want to waste my time listening to you pitch a sale to me. I feel bad that I said no. I told him earlier, I said, you're asking the wrong person. And I felt this little thing. I was like, did I do that mean or did I do that right? And I was like, no. I would be wasting his time as a salesperson by hanging around when I don't authentically want to buy this phone plan that I don't want to buy. Do you understand? If you are a recovering codependent, someone maybe with a fearful avoidant attachment style, maybe even anxious, usually dismissive avoidants have decent boundaries when it comes to certain things, but they may also struggle with this. If you're an empath, which usually if you're an empath, you grew up in a kind of upbringing where you were conditioned to not be able to advocate for your boundaries, to be sensing something around you that was happening in an environment of chaos, which is what happened to me. So now you have like a thermostat going where you know when you pick up on everything in the room. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it may be a projection, but I digress. The reason why you may struggle with this boundary of putting it down and you feel bad, I feel bad, you feel guilty. And this guilt, let's take a moment for guilt before I tell you more of this. Guilt and shame can be motivating for us to heal. They show us when something is off. Something is out of alignment with our highest truth, our highest good, our highest vibration that we can transcend to, our highest path of service maybe, etc., right? It shows us when something is off. It may also be something that you were groomed into. And I say groomed. I was groomed by somebody in my life who I knew from the beginning of my life. Do you follow? I have no shame in articulating this, and I'll go into a little tale here for a moment. I had this older brother. He abused me in more ways than one. He took things from me that I didn't even know that I had. He, it was a guilt trip. He was also the oldest, so he was very jealous when I got any kind of attention from my parents, because let's face it, also, our parents were quite neglectful at times. They were very involved in their own addictions. And when I would get this attention in some shape or form, he would look at me and he would say with this nasty face, "Spoiled little rotten girl." Every time that I would put my boundaries down, I would get a guilt trip. And so I grew up feeling bad that I was hurting someone when I put my boundaries down. But so you feel bad, you feel bad. How do you get out of this I feel bad thing? First, I'll say that maybe you can notice that you even struggle with, like I was saying, putting your boundaries down with people who are not even narcissists. Maybe you struggle with your children, your students if you're a teacher. Maybe you struggle with your pets. Oh my God, I've seen people who are codependent with their pets. Somebody in my family has the worst behaved, cutest dog. And it makes this dog less and less adorable and more annoying when I see this, how poorly behaved this dog is. You cannot do a yoga pose in front of this dog without it barking and barking at you for attention. Does that sound maybe like some narcissist? Maybe. This dog has been conditioned because anytime that the dog reacts, this person will coddle it in some way. It has not trained it. It has not trained it because she literally feels bad, actually. And she says those words that I feel bad. Poor so-and-so. Have you ever said those words? Poor thing, poor thing. Stop saying that to people. Get it out of your vocabulary. When you do that, you put someone in a victim position. And look, it may be a cultural pattern even, of feeling sorry for someone, of putting them in this victim position of the drama triangle. And when you do that, you maybe take on a rescuer role where you feel like you have to rescue them from their problem, which is enabling, or you will put yourself into the responsible victim position on the drama triangle. You can look this up. I made a little guide here, but you can really look this up. Dr. Cartman developed this. But the responsible victim is like this, you feel obligated. Maybe you do the dishes, but you didn't really want to. You didn't want to do them, so you did them. You didn't do it from a very, like, what's the word? Like an authentic, expansive, like, yes, I want to do the dishes. I want to be supportive. No, you did it out of guilt. Do you see the energy there when you are operating out of guilt? I am going to go over some more stuff. This is getting deep, folks, isn't it? So when I was in my 20s, I left this abusive relationship and I lived abroad, took this ticket, a one-way ticket to a place that I didn't know the language. I didn't know anything, basically I knew like nothing about the culture and no one who lived there. And I taught these kids that spoke no English. And I taught the really little ones. They were like 3 years old, some were 4 and going up. But I had this little student, his name was Lotto. They named him after the lottery. Have a laugh. But he was the cutest little boy, this little boy Lotto. And one day they said, teachers, don't worry, you don't have to teach today. We have all these toys in the gym. You can just watch the kids and have fun and play with them, etc. So we went down to the gym. And, you know, I was going around to the different groups of kids and blah, blah, blah. And there's little Lotto, and he was playing with blocks. And there he was stacking these blocks. I was sitting next to him, and I watched him. He stacked them up, and then it fell down. And then I was like, oh. I picked it up for him, and I helped him, and I put it back into its place. And then he was building again, and then what do you think happened? Fell over again. I, on autopilot, went to pick it up. Yes, I went to pick it up. And then I thought, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? It dawned on me that I was inhibiting this little boy's growth because I was too afraid of him failing. I didn't know, it's not like I was thinking of that. Do you see we make these unconscious choices? Because we're groomed into that. We're afraid of seeing other people fail, maybe. We're afraid of seeing them uncomfortable. And you see, when it comes down to people who are not narcissists, they don't want us to do that. Narcissists maybe want that because they want that attention. They want you to take their suffering away. They want to deflect or whatever it is. They use all these kinds of patterns. And you will see this. It's just immaturity, really. That's what this is. And I'm sorry to say, folks, but we are also immature too. And I don't mean this in a mean way like, oh my God, you're so immature. I mean it in like the process of healing this is that we're literally maturing. We're developing ourselves. That is what personal development is about. And it's not about sitting in the shame, okay, and berating ourselves for it. We're blossoming, maturing. Mwah. You're maturing. You're here because you're trying to grow. You're on the path. You're here to carve out your path, my friend. You're doing it, right? So this is where it dawned on me. And I don't know at the time if this flashback came through, but what comes up now is the flashback to when I was with this abusive partner who I had no idea was being abused, of course. Why do you stay? Because you don't really know that you're being abused, that you are putting yourself back into this position when you walk back into it again and again. Oops, I didn't see the door. It's a lack of consciousness. Well, we're going to get conscious. I'm giving you the hard drive. Take it. Here it is. This guy was an alcoholic. He had a lot of addictions. He threw this beer bottle across the room. This was like the first 2 weeks or something of us knowing each other. It was early on. And what do you think I did when this beer bottle went across the room? What would you do as a sweet little codependent 22-year-old girl? Well, oh my gosh, I went to pick it up on autopilot. Why? Because that's what I grew up doing in my household. My older brother grew up to become an alcoholic and drug abuser, and so was my father. And I grew up with all these crazy addictions in the house, and I wanted to keep the peace. I wanted to live a happy life. I didn't want to have to walk with glass on the floor. I picked up the beer bottles. Yeah, it took me years to enjoy the smell of beer. And every now and again, the same smell of that particular one I'm turned off by, you know. Not that you need to drink, right? It lowers your vibe. But I enjoy a cheeky organic beer every now and again. Anyway, the conditioning is there. We are here to break the conditioning. Are you ready? You're here to break it. And it is possible, it's achievable. And now I'm going to go into some more exercises for you. But keep in mind that this responsibility is on you. And a lot of people are not willing to accept this, okay? Because it is very triggering. It's easy to point blame at the outside. And rightfully so, we're angry. You have every damn right to be angry. In fact, anger is an essential part of your journey to transcend this. You gotta get angry to have boundaries. You've got to get angry. You've got to feel your way through and have this anger, because anger lets you have, when it's conscious anger, you can start choosing your boundaries. You can start being determined using it, okay? So stop feeling sorry for someone is my message again. My grandmother felt sorry for my older brother till the end when she died. And what happened? She always was feeling sorry, but he abused her physically and was arrested for it. He stole thousands and thousands of dollars from her. But oh, he's sick. He's sick. Yeah, it is. We could say it's a sickness to be unconscious, but it is not your responsibility. You're responsible only for yourself. And I know that may be difficult to think if you have children too. Yes, you're there to be a caretaker, but you are not there to enable them. And I know it's hard. It's hard to understand this. It can take years of practice, but you'll get there if you're on the path and you're committed to it. This is where they call it tough love in 12-step programs. It's called tough love because you're starting to get out of this codependent BS. You're going to get out of it, right? All right. So stop saying sorry all the time, and no, you don't get a pass if you're British. I just got back from Britain. I used to live there for a bit, and it was really freaky. It was trippy to go back after all these years. I think it had been about 6 years since I lived there, and so that's 6 years more of my 13-year journey of healing. And I was like, oh my goodness, everyone is saying sorry for everything. This is hilarious. And they didn't even do it sometimes. They're just sorry about everything. And thank you for everything, because if you don't say thank you, you're going to be guilty. So here, let's get into some exercises that you can do. First things first, stop saying sorry for everything. This is a practice, and you're going to hear me say it's a practice all the time, because it's a practice. It's a practice, and it gets better and better as you keep committing to it. Here's a little one. You can try this out. Stop saying sorry. When you notice, oops, I did it again. Sounds like a Britney Spears song. All right. You notice. The noticing is like 90% of the healing. It's the awareness. And it's easy to berate yourself, but no. Start celebrating both your wins and your loses. You're celebrating your awarenesses. You're celebrating them. And this is where it helps to do this in a group. At some point soon, I'm going to be having a group where you share your successes in this group. Okay, like I was sharing successes with space holders last year. And when we would get back into the drama triangle, but we were aware of it, we would write in our little Telegram group, I went into the low drama, and this is what happened, and this is what I'm doing to get out of it. Accountability, right? No shame. We're very ashamed sometimes, and we get stuck in the shame. Don't let yourself get stuck in it. Feel your feelings that you feel about this. That's part of the journey, is to authentically feel what you feel, mourn it, all that, but don't let yourself spiral down so much that you cannot transcend. Okay? So celebrate your wins. Now, next thing you can notice is that maybe do something that you would normally be sorry about. Maybe you can intentionally forget to do the dishes. Do this with someone that you actually can trust. Start off your boundaries with people that in your life that you know actually will honor them. Maybe you're at a point where you don't know who to trust. I could make a whole video on this. Sometimes it is a risk, okay? But there will be people in your life. Ask the universe to show you someone who is securely attached, who cares about you, who honors them. You want to do this in a safe container first. And you do something like, you had forgot to do the dishes. Maybe this is a sweet friend. It's like, and maybe they won't pull you up on it. You want to do it with someone maybe that you pulled up on, or maybe they don't pull you up on it. Don't say sorry. Delay your sorry if you have to. If you can't do the don't say sorry all the whole time, wait, and then maybe later, after you let this singe you, you've got to let the discomfort singe. It sucks, I know, do it, okay? Let it singe, and then now you can send them a text or call, oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot to do the dishes. I won't let that happen again, okay? So this is called being like a conscious soul, okay? You consciously use these strategies in your life. Another one would be like where you start saying no to things, and start saying no, even to the people in your life that maybe they will honor your boundaries. Try it in a store. Like I was saying earlier, I was in Best Buy. This guy's trying to sell me something. I don't want it. Actually, to be honest, I kind of like, I'm being cheeky here. I exploited him being on the floor because, to be honest, every time I'm in Best Buy, I can't find someone to help me. It's the most aggravating thing. And I really was circling around trying to find this microphone. So I was like, he's trying to sell me something. And instead, I decided to be a servant. I was like, where are your microphones? And so he's like, walking me over to them, and I saw it before he did. And then as I'm looking at it, he's like trying to sell me the plan, and I said, "You're asking the wrong person. I'm really happy with my plan." I will get to something else that narcissists feast on, so that you can understand a little bit more about this, okay? But when you're sure, they cannot so easily get to you. When you're uncertain, when you're wishy-washy in your intuition or your boundary, they will tread on you. And you will let them. Here's another next level thing that you can do in a store, or for example, I love farmers markets. I love to fund small businesses that are conscious businesses that I believe in what they do. And even this happens sometimes when I'm not that crazy about a product or something that someone's selling at a farmer's market, but I feel a little bad that I don't really want their thing. And maybe I'm just going around to be social at the farmer's market and they're talking to me and like, I'm not going to buy something. Hey, I've experienced the flip side of this, by the way, when I used to sell art at flea markets. And, you know, sometimes I just enjoy talking to people. And actually, that's how I learned that I was getting more of the call as a priestess, through people who would come up and talk to me about their problems. But so I sometimes feel a little bad, you know, I'm not going to support you today. But maybe go around and you know that you want to support this business. Don't. Let it singe. Let it singe that you can also say no to a nice person, to person who you believe in the product of, etc. I'm literally serious, because you know, if you know that you're a person who can't say no, no is a complete sentence, and maybe you're not able to do it without feeling guilt. Been there. Been there. And so here's a reminder also that when you say no to the people in your life who are good, they honor your boundaries, they're not narcissists or psychopath or an empathy lacker, I'm including that here, they'll honor it. Maybe they'll be a little sad, but they're not going to give you this guilt trip, right? These are the people you want to surround yourself with, right? These are the people to practice with. And remind yourself that these are the people who, once someone honors your boundary, one of these kind of people, maybe they're securely attached, that's really the gold mine, let that simmer in you as a piece of evidence that your boundaries are honored. And I say piece of evidence because what happens along the line of this abuse is that you're conditioned, your subconscious is conditioned to expect that someone isn't going to honor your boundaries, and you're finding evidence, proofs that your boundaries are violated. Oh, all men are bad, all women are bad. This is not true. And if you think that, you're just wounded, okay? Not all men are bad. Not all men are unconscious. I know so many conscious, great dudes out there, same as women. It's what you're attracting into your fields, okay? It's something to heal. It's something to heal. And you are the one who can choose to heal that. It's up to you. Now I'm going to go to the next step of this in this video here. So meet me over there, because this video is really long and there's so many elements to this phenomena, we'll call it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so that others who are trying to heal can find this in their algorithm too. But hey, if you don't honestly like it, don't like it. I would say I'd give you permission, but I won't. It's up to you to give yourself permission, right? If you want to stay connected, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.
In Britain, two of our favourite words are sorry and thank you. We say sorry for everything. You didn't do it? Doesn't matter. Say sorry, okay? I'm sorry for sharing the road. I'm sorry for living. I'm sorry that I'm sorry. It's forgivable. After years of codependency, I find comfort, yes, in knowing that there are thousands and thousands of people here who are sorry for all kinds of things. They are unconsciously sorry. When I first went camping in the UK, I asked my boyfriend, what about the bears? And he just laughed at me and said, "Oh, darling, we killed them all. Sorry." Lots of blackberries grow around here. Tastes just like car fumes.